also for me, like a very warm welcome. Thank you so much, Haldor, and thank you much, Anna, and the whole team from Eurexis China, that we from the DAD can join and jump into this amazing science communication workshop series. I saw it last year, and I kind of was a bit jealous that I didn't come up with this idea. So I'm so glad we can be now this year on board. So as you can see, today we have actually quite a few experts that are joining us. And what I love about this, that we are represented by actually quite a few countries. So China is here, South Africa is here, Germany is here. Actually, Corinna Luther is also half American and I'm half Taiwanese. So we are actually very well represented. And I think it's so fantastic to be aware how big and extended the science community is. And I'm so proud to be part of today's event and be able to work closely together again with you guys from Eurexis China. So when we move on, maybe to the next slide, I would like to introduce you briefly to our panel today. So we start with Mr. Bill Xu. Thank you so much, Bill, for joining us today. And Bill is the Director of Strategic Planning and Operation of SAP Labs China. And he will be the best trainer I actually know, who will help us how to do your perfect pitch. I'm so proud to be able to invite you to today's meeting. And I'm looking really forward because not only will he explain kind of like the stages, what a good pitch is, so we also will really do a deep dive. And we might also be for a few little surprises in there. And I'm looking so forward to this. He will be followed actually by Emmy Dinku. And she is a multi-award winning science communicator. She's most recently, she was the first runner-up for the Falling Walls Lab 2021. And I'm so looking forward because she will be sharing her own personal experience in participating in such an international science competition. And maybe we are all up for a treat because maybe she gives us a little insight how her own 3-minute pitch of her amazing research will work. And if Emmy is already here, I hope so. And I'm really grateful because she will be joining us from South Africa. Emmy is followed by Corinna Luther. Corinna is our last guest speaker and she will be tuned in from Berlin. I think I see Corinna here actually on the screen. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to also have you here. So you're the project lead of the Falling Walls Lab, of the International Falling Walls Lab Berlin. And you will be kind of giving insight or short overview about what is the Falling Walls Lab about, what is it? And we from DAD, we're very proud because we are allowed to organize 30 labs worldwide. And one of those labs is something that we do here in China. And we are looking forward to doing this again in September. So I'm very sure that today's workshop will give you insights, best tips, to join not only the Falling Walls Lab in Beijing, but also maybe possibly make you a winner. And then we will see you all in Berlin and meet and compete with the brightest minds all over the world. So just a little bit about how do we do it interactively, because I'm sure over the time you guys are going to have questions. Please write them just in the chat box. And if you want to ask a particular speaker, then write just maybe their name. So I will know at the end after each segment. There will be a few moments where we can, I will read the questions out loud and refer to the speakers. But at the end of the workshop, we of course also have a lot of chances to get into a conversation and we're willing to answer every question. Okay, I think we can now move on. Why do we actually want to talk about? Why do we want to do pitching, right? I think everybody, all of you have heard this and what's the big deal about this? If you think about it, it takes really a few seconds to make a first impression and get your audience engaged and like really locked into you, right? And we are here to help to explain also the research basically in a nutshell. Maybe you can move on to the next slide. Wonderful. Because we plan after today's workshop that you will have an understanding of the goal of the pitch, the structure for your pitch, and also, of course, the necessary tools. How do you create it? How to refine it whenever you want to present your research pitch? The thing is, I do understand, right? You've devoted years and years and years on your research. You studied for a long time, you've done a long time of research, and now you're only getting really just a short time, sometimes just a few minutes to really explain somebody else what your research is all about. I do understand that's very frustrating, but that's actually not the point, because the goal of a pitch, that would be the next slide, is kind of like to capture the listener's attention and to engage them. So they want to actually learn more about your pitch and also start to ask questions, right? So the trick is kind of to choose, and I understand this is easier said than done. Try to pinpoint like what is the most captivating, what is the most impactful parts about your research to tell your audience, right? So think about it a little bit this way. A pitch kind of is the start of a much longer and bigger conversation, right? You can move on to the next slide, Bill. Thank you. If you want to talk about the structure of a pitch, all you guys are researchers, right? So you're very familiar with that kind of structure, right? You know about the abstract, there's background materials, there's methods, there's results, you do a discussion, there's a conclusion. That is a really effective way to convey something in written form. But the thing about like presentations is you're kind of in the here and now and conveying things in a much more active manner. So for a brief pitch, and it doesn't really matter if it's 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 10 minutes, we need to really reconsider how we want to present ourselves, right? So I kind of like wrote down like kind of 4 main criteria, but of course you present your problem, you present your solution. You kind of need to showcase what is actually the benefit and the impact for the community or maybe for the world. And at the end, you do need to have a call for action, right? But anyway, this sounds now a little bit abstract. Don't really worry. So this is my final slide with a picture I really love. Can you click on the next slide? Here you go. This is what we want to do. We want to guide you through each step of the way. And for this, I'm so happy to have you, Bill, one of the best pitch trainers, in my opinion, to take over. And I'm looking really forward to have this presentation from you. And by the way, before we all start, please have your cell phone ready, because there might be a few moments where we have to scan something. So if you have like a WeChat scanner or any kind of scanner, have your cell phone ready. Okay? All right, Bill, I would like to hand over to you, and I'm looking really forward to the next part.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. So it's coming to our pitch training. So I'm very happy to be here, especially see many researchers and many people from different region, different parts of the world. So well, warmly welcomed. So just now, Melanie already mentioned, pitch actually a very important pillar in our daily life. So, every day you do a pitch. So later I will show you why I'm saying this. So first of all, about myself, I'm Bill Xu. My Chinese name is Xu Lei, 3 stone. I joined SAP Labs China in 2007, and currently I'm from Managing Director Office. I'm drive the strategic planning and operation, and also the head of Labs China Digital School to give to build the people success. So get back to our topic today. So why do we make a pitch? As I mentioned, every day, almost every day, we make a pitch to different people. Sometimes to your mom, right? You want to buy something. Sometimes you pitch to your kids, ask them to take some actions. So next, let's please scan the code. Let's make some interaction. Scan the code here and tell me, so why do we make a pitch? Give me some scenarios why you're going to join today's pitch training to make a pitch. Please scan the code and input the word, and then maybe tell me the reason. So I will show the result right away. Scan the code. And meanwhile, let me share another screen. Yeah, it's coming up. So we got got reply from people, spark people interests and ask more. Definitely, you want to inspire people, right? You want to get some help or get some investments. I want to convince somebody, of course, right? When you want to ask people to do something, you need to convince. Then, first of all, you need to believe me. To get some new business, exactly. So if you want to get investment, get your business, new business running, of course, you need to pitch the idea, to seek the advice and the investments. Share an idea, right? Definitely. To see something, yes. When you see something and you actually find something that you want to elaborate more, to leave an impression about my research. Definitely, I believe you usually pitch to your research head or research leader about your finding, right? Share ideas and solution with people. Definitely, yeah. It's a pitch is actually it's a kind of communication, right? Persuade somebody, yes. Persuade them to invest you, right? For job interview, exactly. When you go to a job interview, you actually do a pitch, right? Communicate with your research efficiently. Yes, to how to make a pitch better, so you can communicate the key finding of your research more effectively. To inform PPL, I'm not sure what is the understanding of the PPL people, but anyway, it's kind of something, right? You want to inform some people something. And that's definitely right. I want to achieve certain goals. Yes, you want to achieve certain goals through your pitch. And convince the friends to go somewhere during the weekend. Yes, definitely. You are doing a pitch for the campaign, right? Boot camp, or for shopping, or just go outside for enjoy the sunshine. Persuade some people. Yes, to expand simply my research. Definitely. Startup, grant knowledge transfer. Yes, be convincing. I believe we already mentioned in previous reason. Definitely, we have so many very good answers. That's the reason. That's the main reason why you join today's pitch training. And you know the blocks. Actually, there were a few blocks that you can learn, you can enjoy in your pitch. Let me switch back. Wait a minute. Okay, share my screen again. I got so many very good answers from the different people. So what is why you make a pitch? Actually, when you make a pitch, you want people to do some action. First of all, to agree with you, right? Like people said, right? You're persuading people to believe you, to take then support the idea. So finally, they want to invest you. Invest, the invest I mentioned invest here is not only invest money or invest resources. Even you persuade your people, your friends to go out campaign with you, right? They invest time, they invest the friendship, they invest trust to you. So this is actually what is the reason why you do a pitch. You actually want people to take some action through your pitch. Then, so next you probably will ask, so how you can get prepared? Usually what people, how we get people prepared, you will think about what should I say? How long should I take? How many minutes for my pitch? Maybe for your professor, for your team lead, when you meet him in the elevator, you only have 1-2 minutes to give the pitch for the achievement in the past few days, right? But when you giving a presentation to a team members, you have half an hour at least, right? You maybe have 1 hour. So sometimes you will think about how long you have and what slides should I use. And in most of the case, you have the presentation to show to your audience. But in many cases, don't have the time to show the slides to your boss in the elevator, right, in the corner, right, when you meet him. And what data should I use? So this is actually usually you will think about how you get prepared. But I'm not saying this is not right, or this is something you should not focus on. But instead, besides those, how you get prepared, you need to think something more, like who is the audience? This is very important, right? As I mentioned, when you face to your colleagues, when you face to your boss, the information in your pitch, the pitch style, or even the time is different. It's quite different. And the second, you need to think about what change will you bring, or what will I bring, right? So this is actually something very unique or very important for your pitch. You are coming to bring some change instead of I'm coming just to let you know it. And besides, the third is what is truly in it for me or for you, right? Because first of all, when you do a pitch, before you do a pitch, you need to believe it. Then you can deliver the message to your audience. So finally, you also need to think about what becomes possible when you do when people just follow you, to follow your pitch, to take out actions. You need to convince them this is actually the something is possible, that they believe you and take the action. Okay, next. So let's take a preview of today's training. So this in today's training, I will brief you, I will introduce you or explain to you some basic structure of your pitch. Especially, I will show you some different blocks. What is the standard, or what is a typical pitch? How many components should a typical or standard pitch should have? This is first part I want to share with you. And the second, I will take example, learn from example. It's not only I give some methodology or theory to you, but more importantly, I will show you a real example. So I will take the example that it's actually an innovation idea from SAP Lab China, I believe 1-2 years ago, about social impact innovation. So I will do the pitch for you, and also I will introduce it step by step. How many blocks? How did this pitch achieve the success for each blocks? So we can learn from the case study, from a real example. So talking about the pitch structure, I will give you a standard blocks for 10 minutes. 10 minutes pitch. Usually you have 1 minute, maybe 3 minutes, 10 minutes, or half an hour, or 1 hour. We don't have a pitch for 10 hours, right? Of course, I don't have, people don't have that long time. But usually, but usually for 10 minutes, it should be a complete pitch. What is a standard 10 minutes pitch should what is the structure? What is 10 minutes pitch? The pitch structure. So mainly it should contain 4 parts: opening, demo, call, and call to action. So 4 parts. So opening, of course, you need to do an opening for something you are going to bring, some changes you are going to bring, or some innovations you are going to take to introduce your 10 minutes pitch. It usually takes maybe 1 minute, less than 1 minute. The more important thing is you need to get audience attention, and you need to give a demo. It's very important, especially for us, for SAP, we are doing the software industry. Usually people cannot imagine what the step-by-step operations or the changes from your software. So why? You should do a demo. So through the demo, the people can know more about the process in your innovation. So usually it takes 2 minutes. And the code part is you need to show some facts about your business that gives the credibility that people can important for you. What is important for you? Opening, or you think the demo, or you think the code, or the call to action. Please scan the code and vote for your most important. Sorry, I believe I need to switch to the next.
Yeah, I see
yeah, you
now.
can do it now. Yeah. Let's give a few more seconds to wait people to do the selection. And meanwhile, I will show the result to you.
Bill, I just see the why do you make a pitch? Maybe it's more on my end.
Scan it again. Please scan again.
Ah, now it comes. Okay, now people, you guys can do the choosing.
Great. I give another 5 seconds for people scan the code. Then we will share the results. Okay, let me share the results. It's very interesting, right? Let me share. Okay, so we have almost 1/3 of people are selecting the opening, and the minimum, only 3 people are selecting the demo. The demo is very important, right? And we have 7 people. I believe it's 1/4 to select a call. Yeah, of course, the call is very important. Show me some facts, right? Show me some statistics why you think your innovation your business plan is can make it perfect, that can drive me my investments. And meanwhile, we have 11 people to select a call for action. Yeah, definitely call for action is also important, because that's the reason, I pitch you. I want you to invest me, definitely. Okay, let's switch back. Let's switch back. Cool. So in my understanding, or in my experience, so which one is most important? Is the majority of people select the opening? Definitely, the most important part is the opening. So imagine if you cannot attract people's attention in the opening, so how will they stay? For your demo, for your call, or for your action, right? I will explain more in my later slides. But basically, let's give more. So I give 4 major parts of 4 major parts of your 10 minutes pitch. So let's give a deep dive for the 4 different parts. So actually, there were 12 pitching the building blocks. So what is the opening? Opening actually includes the introduction, the problem, why you make it, or besides, and also solution, your solution and unique selling points. This is the opening. Okay. And the second is demo. So what is a product demo? No matter you are a software or you are physical innovation, so show me the demo, whether you can make it happen, right? And then it's a call. So show me some statistics, show me some facts. What is the market research? What is the business model? Why you can make perfect as your plan? What is the rolling out plan? Have you validated with your customers? And how much you are actually calling for investments? What is the milestone? How many years you are expecting for the investors to wait for the profit? And have you done any competitions analysis in the markets? Do you clear with the competitions whether it is blue sea or red sea, right, for the competition, right? And how is your team? Why you said your team can make it happen? Do you have the technical person? You have the sales person, or even you have some fantastic or excellent researchers as audience as you, right? And what is the call for action? How much resources, how much time you need actually from me, from investors? So this is basically 12 blocks for the 4 major parts. Next, I will do an example. I will be a person. I will be a CEO for innovation. We call it Gaia, and I will take around maybe 7 minutes to 10 minutes to pitch you. You are the investors, so I will bring some changes to you, and you will decide in the end of my pitch. So whether you're going to invest your time and your money for my business. Okay, I will get started. So Gaia, volunteering for more impact. I will not introduce more because you should be learning. You should be understand it from my 7-10 minutes pitch. Otherwise, it's my mistake or my pitch is fighting. Is fighting. Okay. How many of you have contributed to some volunteer jobs? For me, 10 years ago, I took part in volunteer job as an English teacher in a rural school. I thought my English is good. I passed the CET4 and the CET6. I slowly find I'm not good at teaching English because it is said that you are good at something, but doesn't mean you are good at teaching something. That gave me a very bad experience. The world is changing, no matter corporations or individuals. We care more and more about the purpose of work and business, not just making money, but what changes we make for society and the environment. It turns out being dedicated to social good pays off, especially when it comes to retain employees. Skill-based volunteering is one of the best ways to fulfill this. Take the US, for example. More than 40% of the large corporations are now channeling the talents of their employees to non-profit organizations. However, 1/3 of the volunteers do not do any volunteering the next year. Skills not matching with assignments is the top reason. It is not only a waste of time and resources, but also negatively affect the volunteers' willingness. So Gaia is here to help. On Gaia, NGO and social enterprise can publish their needs. The enterprise can get recommendation on projects and skill matching. And we have 3 core functions: project matching, skill matching, and experience management. First of all, NGO and social enterprise are required to upload the projects and details information, including what kind of and how much efforts are required. And the decision maker of enterprise CSR will be able to review information and get recommendation based on the criteria like theme, location, time and duration. And we also provide a credit rating of the NGO from 5 dimensions to serve as a fast, reliable decision support. Once a project is selected, the CSR earner will be able to recruit volunteers. With the integration of SuccessFactors, we can easily get people's profile and facilitate the matching based on their skill sets. In the same time, the recognition and the certification of skill-based volunteering will feed back to SuccessFactors to help assess the employees from the dimensions. And based on the data collection of survey function, Gaia can bring to the table the experience management to help track the change of the employee experience and engagement from those volunteering projects. So next, I will take example. I will take the demo. Sherry is CSR earner of company A. On Gaia, he can see all the projects uploaded by NGO and NGO operators. When she wants to find some projects, she can go to find projects and enter some criteria like theme, budget, location, and so on. Then she got some AI recommendation according to the calculation on historic data and user behavior. She chooses one of the recommendation projects and see the detailed information, requirements on the volunteering like skills, and vote number from employee to estimate its popularity. For more information, she clicks inside to see the visualized knowledge graph. It partially tells why Gaia recommended to this project, for example. It tells where the company A's business partner have also carried out these projects before, what is credit ranking score of the related NGO, such as transparency and branding, and company A's historical collaborations with NGO, if any. After investigation, she can add it into the wish list. Then she can download the wish list from her leadership team's approval. After it's approved, she can apply for the project. An application together with the contact information will be sent to NGO. If it is accepted by NGO, she will receive a notification. After some communication and a negotiation with NGO on the project, she can start to do it. She will fill the number and skills and start the recruiting volunteers. Jake, a developer also in company A, logs into Gaia to find some opportunities. He can see recruiting projects selected by the CSR earner Sherry, and also the projects not selected. In other projects, she can read through the list and vote for his preference to give them more possibility to be selected by the CSR earner. In the recruiting projects, she can see the project's information and also do the knowledge graph for employee. It tells which colleagues take part in which projects and their connection for his information to make his decision. After closing the projects, Jake can fill the volunteer hours and the feedback survey in people engagement, social impact, business impact, and a suggestion. The results will be collected and shown in CSR earner Sherry's dashboard for CSR report and further estimation. Okay, so that is the demo. So next, let's take a look at the market. The global CSR software market is more than $63 billion US. Total CSR investment increased 23.8%, and the number of volunteer hours are considerably 51 increase, and they are growing incredibly fast. And we do have some competitors focusing on connecting enterprise and NGO. Some of them, like HCVC and Taproot, is working more on the traditional way, counting on their consultant to manually do the matching and most of the work. As a consequence, the efficiency is very low and the cost is very high. And there's a company like Alaya also building an integrated digital platform and AI matching. The difference is they are in button-up manner, which means they provide projects of donation of money, themes, and time for the individual employees. And those accomplishments can be recorded as a company's accomplishment. Gaia is more a top-down manner, means the employee will get support from the company and leverage its resource and work as a team to really address some problems that NGO social enterprise are facing to create the great impact in the society. We will only charge for enterprise. Basically, starters for $1, that only for one project. And a customer could choose from a standard and a professional version based on their needs. Professional would be a better choice if the enterprise want to implement more than 5 projects a year. We also have extended team members who will be continuously contributing in Gaia in any way. how we are going to get our customers on board. From the enterprise part, Frankie and the German Chamber of Commerce in China are willing to be our future customer. For the NGO side, we are collaborating with our NGO operators like Yishan, who publish their credit ranking of China charity and has a connection of over 80,000 NGOs in China. We also do some interviews with our customers like Teresa Wu, HR Director Asia from Frankie, and our partner Zoe Tao, CEO and founder of Yishan. Both of them are willing to use Gaia and work with Gaia together to increase the corporate social responsibility. We will have the platform basic service on board at 6 months. In the same time, invest in marketing to attract more customers. We are targeting to get self-sustained in 12 months. In total, there will be developing, operation, and a marketing effort and expense there. With those, we can deliver the platform to make volunteering more impactful. We have a diverse team, young and passionate, and literally all the roles required for developing the product are already covered. And we have many experienced advisors provide a lot of valuable feedback. Finally, what we request from you, totally we need $1 million investments, including the development efforts, operation, and the marketing cost. Within 2 years, we can make profits. So ladies and gentlemen, are you going to make the volunteering more impactful or more meaningful? So trust us, let's make volunteering impactful. Okay, so that's all. That is my quick pitch, around maybe 7 minutes. Just an example, I hope you can get the whom idea for the innovation itself. Otherwise, it's it could be not a very good pitch. But then we will take a revisit. So if you still remember the 12 blocks, the building blocks about opening, demo, right, call, and call to action. Take a look. So it will come to my next question. So my next question is, what do you think, how many blocks the Gaia innovation already includes? So scan the code and give your answer. I give 7-10 seconds. I will show the result very soon. Okay, let's see the results. How many blocks do you think the Gaia already includes? So 1 people says 4, 2 people says 8, any more people? 4 people says 10, and only 1 person that says 12. Any more answers? Let's give another 5 seconds. Come on. Okay, good. Let me switch back. Okay. So the answer is 12, definitely, right? That's the reason why I show with you a typical pitch with all blocks covered. Yes. So let's next part we will jump a little bit deep into. So how does it look for the pitch for the Gaia? So opening, the most important part of your pitch, actually. this is actually usually you only have 30 seconds or 1 minute to catch people's attention. If you lose it, you won't get it back. So open is very important. It will include the introduction, your problem, what is a problem, and why you make it, and what is the solution, or what is the unique selling points. So talking about the first part of the opening part, introduction. So you want to who you are. You will talk about who you are and what you do. So next, another interaction. So scan the codes to give your answer. What do you think is a good introduction and opening? So give my example, your example. If you give an example, if you give an opening for your presentation, what the opening you will use? We give maybe 20 seconds because it is actually 1, 2, 3 words or even one sentence. So say if you are going to give an opening, which way you will use? So come on. Give another 5 seconds to scan the codes, then we will share the results. Okay, let's see. Definitely ask a question. Questions are very good technology or good technique, because when you ask a question, audience don't know which one you ask to. Maybe you will pick him up, right? To answer the question. A personal story, definitely. Personal story, usually people are very in favor of personal story, because a personal story, people can share, or even you can share the sympathy. You maybe have the similar experience before, the personal story before, right? A question, yes. A goal, yeah. How do you understand the goal? So give a goal. So tomorrow we will make our profit doubled. Right? That's a goal, right? Give an opening to shock people, right? Definitely show interest about the other person first. Yeah. It's also a good point. Yeah, to show your interest. Yes, say your audience here, I'm very interested in you because yeah, blah blah blah. Personal story, greeting. Yeah, greeting, of course, right? You before you make a presentation, you need to greet with people. Yeah, joke. Yeah, joke is a very good point, because a joke is a very good technique to attract people's attention, right? You make people laugh, so people will follow you, right? Anything else? Who you are and what what do you do? Yes, yeah, definitely. Sooner or later, you need to tell people what are you going to do today. Pictures or stories? Yeah, definitely stories, right? Pictures. Usually stories with pictures you're very convincing, right? Because it shows some facts, show some pictures with people that something happened to you some time ago. Start with a reflecting on the audience. Yeah, of course. Do some reflecting. Introduce a goal and ask questions. Definitely. Okay, let me switch back to my presentation. Give me seconds. Switch back. Show my slides. Yes. Okay, good. Definitely, people, all of you have a very, I believe, a very good presentation skills already. So next, what is a good introduction opening? So a good introduction opening is a half success. Yeah, I believe Chinese people know it well, right? 好的开始是成功的一半。So try to open with a personal story to attract people's attention. Some people mentioned already, right? Why? Because you can attract people. You can, share the sympathy with the audience. Maybe some audience share the same similar experience before, right? They were engaged with your personal story, and maybe you open with powerful statistics. Yes, powerful statistics is actually give people a shock. or some information they never know. They will be shocked by your statistics, by your facts. And besides a question, right? For example, how many of you are spending more than half of your time in meeting, right? Of course, what you are going to do, you will give a solution. You will give selling points to help people to make their meeting more effective. Deliver the question. Maybe the audience, they don't know, why you ask the question. They will think about it. They will follow your question. Maybe you will point them to answer the question, right? Who knows, right? By the question can attract people's attention, or even a shock, right? Just now people mentioned, right? Give a goal, right? We need to double our profit next year or tomorrow. Of course, it is not achievable, but by this shock, people's attention is attracted by you, or a visualization or imagination, right? You ask people to close their eye, imagine. So in some different scenario, and how you will conquer such a scenario, or imagination or visualization. All of this is a very good technique to keep your opening or introduction very strong or very different. So get back to my example, the Gaia, right? The Gaia, how did I start with opening? Open with a story, like my personal story, for doing some volunteering job before, which gives me a bad experience. The reason I get the bad experience, the reason why I give the solution here, right? And also besides, just I mentioned in the some techniques, you can show some figures. You can even ask the question, how many of you have done the volunteer before, right? But get to the Gaia example, we give the opening, we began the story, we began the introduction with a story. Then the second part of the introduction part is problem. Of course, today you come here to deliver a pitch is you want to help people to solve problem. The problem is very important because people come here is because they have some pain, they have some problems that need your help to solve it. This is actually the strongest argument for the existence of your products. So please address the key problem, or the pain, the most painful parts of the problem, to attract people's attention, because they have the similar experience. If you explain the problem well, they will share or they will feel the fantasy, right, that you are encountering. So get back to the Gaia example. It talks about a scale-based volunteer, right? And the poor matching is a problem. Not the right volunteer are doing the right job is a problem, right? It makes the volunteering retention very low. Only 1/3 of the people of the volunteer, right? They just drop off. The only 1/3 can continue their volunteer job the next year. 2/3 they just drop off because the volunteer job is not matching their skills. That is a bad experience, just like me, right? Before, I'm good at English, but I'm not good at teaching, right? So then it's coming to why. So why your audience, your authentic connection to the problem and the audience based value and emotion. So for me, for the Gaia, right? Why I bring this innovation Gaia to people, because personally I had such experience before, bad experience before. So I want to solve the problem to you. So next, the solution, the unique selling points. What is the solution? With a problem, with a why, and now tell me your solution, right? What is a unique selling points? So say there are so many different solutions in the market. What is the unique part that make your difference? Whether your cost is very low, it's very cheap, or whether you are using the AI, machine learning, some intelligent technology to help to improve the efficiency, right? What is the unique selling point? So for the Gaia part, right, what is the solution? It's build a bridge, very intelligent bridge between NGO, social enterprise, with the enterprise to do the scale mapping, so people can select the best person, best volunteer to fit the volunteering job. So by this way, not only the volunteer job can be fulfilled, but also the best person, they get their skills or their value realized. They will be very happy. Even can include the employee engagement. So this is the solution, the project matching, and the experience management. If the right person do the right job, of course they will get much engaged, right? So next, the product demo. Show your product and its feature. It's very important, especially for the software industry. So you cannot just how to say, draw your blueprints for your pitch. You need to show something that you're unique, that you can to convince people that you can make it possible. You can realize it, right? To the Gaia itself is demo. I will not show the demo here, but anyway, I believe from my demo, you can you can know the basic flow, and it is achievable. It's because the demo is there, the basic system or the proof of concept is already there. Okay, that is the first part, the introduction part. Second, we come to the code. Show your achievements. This is very important. This is about de-risking, because people don't want to invest too much risk for your innovation, right? You give you money, but you cannot make profits. They will be not happy. And also show the traction. They show a big traction. Traction is a kind of customer validation. It shows people that you already validated in the market. You already interviewed some key customers, that your business, your innovation is actually the market need, right? So this is actually the main success indicator. Meanwhile, you choose the boxes according to your strengths and show you have already achieved. What is the progress, right? For example, the basic system, or some customers, partners, you already engaged in solution, like a market, business model, rollout plan, traction, investments, milestone, competition, and team. So why you can make it happen? Then we get back to the Gaia itself, right? Markets. So what is market size? If the market is too small, is it worth for me to invest such kind of big resources, big money to invest you? If the market is very, very, very small, it's only 1 million markets. So is it worth for me to invest another 1 minute to you to just capture the 1 minute markets, right? And for Gaia itself, it shows that it is actually the 63 billion. It's a huge market, right? It's a market only 2019 to 2025. So, but based on the 6 years market, you can pursue, right? You can predict in the future the market will be very much bigger. And this is a market. CSI investment is already 23.8 increase. That give people is a very emergent market, right? It's fast growing, and it's very attractive. And over and over again, over year increased number. What is the over year increased number? If you have the the date, show me the over year, the market grows. So second part in the code is a business model. What is a business model? How you have innovation, you have a technology, the skills, how you can make profit. What is the charge model? How you can get money from your audience? So get back to the Gaia innovation. So for example, how you make your charge model to your to your business. For example, it's only $1 first 3 months, and even 3,000 for projects. they give different options for the enterprise to whether it is one deal or your consumption cost by consumption. The more projects or more volunteers you're using, so you pay more money, right? It's a charging through consumption. The different charging model, different business model in the pricing. So what is the pricing? Because we want to achieve the profit, right? What is your pricing? You can which is make sense and which is consumable, right? Which is the audience, the enterprise can bear for the cost. Yeah, this is how you can go to market. From the Gaia itself, you work with the German Chamber of Commerce and Frankie, and with Yishan, such kind of the partners, NGO operators. They build a connection. So the third part, traction validation, you need to validate with a customer, with a partner, and with the media or with the market that convince your idea makes sense. They buy in or they believe your innovation. They're going to buy. At least they are going to use it instead of it's just a waste of money. This is not the thing we like from the customer point of view. You need to validate. You need to interview and get their feedback. For the Gaia, Teresa Wu and Zoe Tao give a very positive, through the customer interview or validation, they give a very positive feedback. And the fourth part, investment milestone. Of course, how much money? How many milestones? How long does it take for we invest you, right? For you to develop your product and reach your revenue goal. You cannot, just tell me it's a long journey. I cannot tell you how long you can get the profit. You can get the ROI, your return of investment, because the people. But the investors are very sensitive, or they're very realizable. If you just give them a not clear roadmap, they will not be able to invest you. Just give them roadmap. So how long does it take for your make a product, research a product? How long does it take for you to go to market, and how long for investors they can get their money, or they can win the profits. And the competition, of course, do some analyze on the market. What is the competitors? Is it a blue sea or red sea? Whether it is already very competitive, many competitors in the market. So it's very hard for you to jump into because you are very new, right? It's very, very hard for you to jump in to compete with them. Or it is a very new, very blue sea market that's not many competitors. That means you still have time. You still have enough opportunities to win the market, to get the opportunities. So get back to the Gaia. It did a very complete competitor analysis in the markets. And the team, so advisory board. So this is something that you need to convince your investor. Why you? Why your team, right? Why it's not others? Why you make it happen, right? For the researchers, for the distinguished, very excellent guys on the line, right? You're researchers, you're very technical guy. When you present to investors, why you can make it, but rather than other people, right? Because for team, we have a strong team. We have a very, for example, for this, for Gaia example, they have a very strong people. They with a technical background, because skill matching. The most important, the unique selling point is what is matching, right? Use knowledge graph, use artificial intelligence, machine learning to do the best effective matching between the projects and the individual contributor or individual volunteers. This is a unique, or this is a very how do you say, the shining point of your innovation. So why you can make it happen? Because you have the technical guy, you have the IT guy, the most fabulous or excellent technical people in SAP who have a very strong technical background, data scientist, and both the front-end designer and back-end designer. And meanwhile, you have a strong group of advisors. You have, for example, the professor from Fudan University. He's actually working on the artificial intelligence for knowledge graph, so he can give some guidance, give some support. And also you have the CSR expert, the CSR the lead, the head, and also the chief HR solution advisor. They can give the solution or advice to your innovation. They give more consulting to help you grow. Okay, so that's the third part, the core. The core, a quick summary. Core is to show the facts, show the progress, to convince people that achievements, that it is only you can make it happen. Okay, so next is coming to the last part. This is also important, the call to action. What do you want the audience to remember or do, right? Get back to guide yourself, right? So what is for me? What do I want from you guys? You are investors. I only want maybe one of you, right? You can invest $1 million to support us, sponsor us, so you can get your money back, or even huge money back in 2 years. This is something, a call for action. Yeah. Okay. I take a revisit for the pitching building blocks. So take a recap. Opening includes introduction, problem, why, solution, unique selling points, and the demo. Demo is to convince people, yeah, you already have the technology, or even you already validated technology. You are capable to make it happen. Call, show the facts. You are the right person. You are the it is a right solution, and you already validated in the market. That is true, right? Finally, the call to action. So because of time limitation, actually I have another video, industry level pitch. I want to show with you in my last part of presentation. Because of time limitation, I already spent exceed 5 minutes. I will stop here. I will hand over my next speaker. But for the video itself, for the pitch, we will send you through the email afterwards. So Melanie, what do you think?
Yes, thank you so much, Bill. That was a really good deep dive. Yes, I give you a little applause.
Thank you.
So I want to actually, this was actually really interesting, because this was obviously a very standard pitch, and to know kind of what building blocks you have to kind of like put together. Now, and you actually have a background in like the private sector, correct? And you do actually also dabble into like the academia, but it is interesting now to kind of move on to the next part, which is, and you guys can already see the presentation. It's called Breaking the Wall of Darkness. So we are now digging in to a much shorter version of a pitch, right? So this is altogether like 3 minutes, and I want to introduce Emmy Tiendikov, who was the runner-up for the first place last year of the Falling Walls Lab Berlin in 2021. And Emmy, are you here? I saw you before. Maybe you can show yourself with the video. Hi, Emmy. Are you there? Yes, perfect. I'm going to pin you also. Perfect. Hello, Emmy. Thanks for did you come in from South Africa? It's great to have you here.
Hi, Melanie. Hi, everybody.
I just want to like ask the audience, do you guys see the PPT as well as Emmy?
Yes, we see both.
Perfect. That's good. So, Emmy, I want to just hand over to you because I think it would be great to have some insights actually from an academic and a research background who has actually come so far in the science competition. I'm so proud to have and welcome you here as one of the best science communicators that I know. I just going to hand over to you.
All right. All right, thank you, Melanie. I really enjoyed Bill's presentation. It was very informative, very invaluable. Thank you so much, Bill, for that. I definitely personally learned a lot about pitching and also pitching particularly for a business, because I am in academia and I'm currently in my final year of my PhD in chemistry at the University of Free State. You know, fingers crossed that I'm submitting my thesis in June. But then if you've known anyone who's done a PhD, it's always up in the air. So, and we definitely don't want to be asked about when are you going to submit. I've said June, okay. But anyway, so it was really helpful to get that input on how to pitch an actual business, because for me, it's mostly been my research that I've been doing throughout my master's and also throughout my PhD. So I've attended quite a bit of pitch competitions, and I will say to everybody who's in the room today that Falling Walls Lab is one of the biggest, greatest, most organized, most exciting, just the biggest network that I've created in such a short space of time was because of Falling Walls Lab. So if you were on the rope about whether you want to be involved or not, I personally I'm saying this right now that you definitely 100% want to be involved in the Falling Walls Lab family network, Falling Walls Connect. So yes, so this is the presentation that I did for, it was the Cape Town lab, the South African lab. And from that lab, I then went to the international competition. So right now, what I've been working on is, I've been working on hydroxybenzophenin ligands. And usually as soon as I start saying hydroxys and benzophenins, and sometimes people check out, but I just want you guys to see that what I'm researching on when I talk about it scientifically for a bit, sorry, and then how I then made this into this presentation that I have right now. So I am working on metal complexes, something that I've been working on for a while. So now the project that I'm doing for my PhD, I am going via publication route. So I'm not sure how it happens in different countries, but in South Africa, you sometimes do not just write a huge thesis. You can have projects within your PhD, 4 or 5 projects, in which you work on something specifically, and then you publish it in an international journal. So that is what I've been working on. So right now I'm on my last publication that would make my thesis strong enough for me to defend it, for me to get that PhD. So right now it's on metal complexes, like I said, that have 2 hydroxybenzophenins and related ligands. So these metal complexes are used in dye-sensitized solar cells. So these are 3rd generation solar cells that are way more sensitive to light. So it is quite, you know, high tech and quite complicated, but then if you can manage to turn whatever it is that you're studying, or turn whatever it is that your business is trying to solve into something that people actually care about, then, oh, sorry, yeah, we're still on the first slide. If you can turn it into something that people actually care about, then you are able to sell any idea. So you need to turn it into something people actually care about. So without further ado, let me actually do this presentation. You can watch my video that I presented in Berlin. I haven't started the pitch yet, guys. You can watch the video that I presented in Berlin. But for this particular workshop, I actually wanted to present to you live, because as far as I can understand, some of you are going to be presenting live. So yes, it's helpful to watch the video that I have on stage, but then it's also helpful to see just how you can try to be as engaging as you can with your hands, with your face, with your emotions, for people to, feel what you're feeling across this platform, which is an online platform. All right, I'm about to start now. I need you to take a moment and try to imagine doing everything that you do every day without energy. Or I'll ask you this: how far would you walk to charge your phone if you didn't have access to electricity? Would you walk for hours, miles? Well, that's what millions of people in sub-Saharan do every day to charge their phones. 1 billion people globally do not have access to energy. And in the world, half of the population remains in the dark. In contrast, California uses more energy playing video games than the entire country of Senegal overall. Clearly, there is a huge energy gap between the energy haves and the energy have-nots. It is very important to pay attention to these metrics, as studies suggest that there's a strong correlation between electric power consumption and gross national income. As such, our Sustainable Development Goal number 7 of leaving no one behind and eradicating global poverty must be preceded by eradicating energy poverty. Now, my research in dye-sensitized solar cells, in the next slide, with special metal complexes is among the most interesting alternatives to conventional solar cells. The design is inspired by photosynthesis. This is an age-old process that we all know, where plants use to transform sunlight into energy via chlorophyll. So now with dye-sensitized solar cells, instead of a leaf, the cells start with a porous transparent film of titanium dioxide nanoparticles. The film is coated with a range of different dyes. So the different dyes are acting as the dye-sensitized solar cells' chlorophyll. So those dyes are optimized for specific wavelengths of light. When the sunlight hits, the electrons in the dye are excited. Movement of these energy-excited electrons through the nanoparticles, electrolyte for harvesting, and back to the dye creates an endless supply of energy. Energy that is reliable, that is relatively simple to produce, and that is cheap. These next generation solar cells are so special because they work impeccably in low light and non-direct sunlight conditions. So that means you have all year round energy and no disruptions. Dye-sensitized solar cells are 3 times cheaper than the conventional solar cells, and they produce 40% more energy. And again, the niche for these dye-sensitized solar cells is they work even when the sun is not out. They are so sensitive to light that they've even been shown to work under fluorescent light. And right now, we're also working on how we can have them even work under moonlight. So as we're rethinking the structure of our post-COVID economies and societies, we need to invest in these new technologies. Bill Gates said in a recent interview, investing in breakthrough ways of making energy cleaner and universally available is the most important investment we can make for the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the cusp of an energy revolution, and we must act now. Solutions are available, and if we do not seize them during this time of crisis, then when will we? All right, guys, that was the presentation. Added a little bit of words in there, but yeah, basically that's the gist of the presentation. You can also watch it online, like I said, which gives it a different feel. But yeah, if anyone has questions, I'm just gonna or Melanie said that she was going to moderate for me if there's anyone who has questions. But I can move on to then just talk about my Foley Mills lab experience, and specifically the things that I've learned or that I use to make my presentations very captivating. And yeah, to make sure that people stay with you throughout your entire presentation, to make sure they understand what you're saying, and to make sure that they've got a takeaway. All right, awesome. So I got a question from Melanie that says, how do you get over your nervousness? And this is a question that I get so many times. This is almost the number one question that people ask when they're doing pitches, because I will tell you that now, after having been on a couple of stages and I've done a couple of presentations, it gets better. But then there's always when your heart is palpitating, when they're saying, okay, now we're introducing this person, and you feel like you can hardly breathe. But what I say is, you need to just start. You are never not going to be nervous. Being nervous means that you care about the presentation. It means that you care about performing well. So unfortunately, yes, sometimes it gets to a place where it affects your presentation. But then if you can channel that energy and actually use it to make your presentation better, that works. So you're never not going to feel nervous. You will be nervous, but then you just have to start. So this is why, again, your presentation, when you start it, it needs to be very captivating. It needs to be, your first line needs to be something captivating. My first line was, I need you to imagine trying to do everything that you do every day without energy. It should be something that just like punches people in the face, like, oh, what is this person talking about? And once, if you've got a really powerful opening, you just start flowing. You just start flowing. And also, a lot of people want to do a word by word memorizing of their pitch, but I find that if you do it word for word, and if you miss one word, if you just miss one word, things can go downhill very quickly. So that's also what adds to the nervousness, because now you might miss one word and then you panic and then you forget everything. So, you know, pace yourself, breathe, because 3 minutes is a lifetime on stage. In your head, you're thinking, oh my God, I don't have time. You do, you have time to breathe. You have time to pause, because 3 minutes is a long time. I have a colleague who practiced for 3 minute talk, and she only did it in 1.5 minutes because she was speeding through it, thinking, oh my God, time is running out. It's not. And it's much better to be slow. It's much better to be intentional about your words. Even if you miss one line, then you just wrap it up. So don't try to do your pitch word for word. Just have, you know, if you miss one word, just improvise. And then the next line that you remember, start from there, because it's very, it is a high pressure situation, but then you are more awesome than you think. Trust me. I've learned that too.
There is another question, actually. Somebody's asking actually about suggestion how you can get a catchy title for your presentation or any article, right? Because that's kind of what gets people's attention, right?
I love this question, Nita. I love it so much, because when I arrived in Berlin, and there were, I think it was 74 other people from around the world. And, you know, people will be comparing you've got your name and then you've got the title of your presentation. And nobody had any idea what I was gonna say when I walked onto the stage, because to say breaking the wall of darkness is quite, it's simple and straightforward, but it can be anything. And it was a very brave choice for me, because if you've been to conferences, you know that people's titles would be like synthesis, characterization, and application of copper 2-hydroxybenzophenone in the use of, like, it will be like a really long, you don't, once you are going to present to people, like, you don't have to explain yourself in your title all the time. Like, look at how people give titles to movies or songs. And I know it's like a whole different, it's not academia, it's not, pitch presentations. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring people in. We're trying to bring people in from different walks of life, from entertainment, from business, from just a different line of work than you. So try to make it as simple as you can. I want to just say something, that when I came up with my title, Breaking the Wall of Darkness, I could have called it, breaking the wall of energy poverty using dye-sensitized solar. Like, already I've given away my entire talk. You want the element of surprise. You want people to have no idea what you're going to say out of your mouth when you get on that stage. So that worked for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but that worked for me. I want you to think about all the ideas that you have, that you think are embarrassing, that you think are crazy, that you think that people in academia are probably not going to respect it so much, going to think that it's fluffy. Just be brave. Try it. Try something new. Try something different. Try very catchy, maybe even, just try a very catchy title. Okay, there's another question. How do you respond when you have no answer to a follow-up question? Oh my goodness, I would like someone else to also take this question, because I have the gift of talking. So I will always have something to say. I might redirect your question to something that I've been wanting to say. So if you're going to have a pitch that is 3 minutes, surely there is a whole 27 minutes that you had to cut off for you to squeeze everything in that 3 minutes. I'm sure there's still things that you wanted to say. So let's say someone asks you a question. It depends on the competition. Some people are very strict about, trying to be smart. But if someone asks me a question and I'm not sure about it, I might just say, I'm not sure about that. However, these solar cells have been used in this country and that country. Like, you can be honest that I don't know how to answer this, but you can also take the opportunity to say that, yes, I don't know how to answer your question. However, here's the point that you might find interesting that is in line with your questioning. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, Aline is saying thank you to you. All right. I would say we would move on maybe to get a little bit more of an introduction to what the Falling Walls Lab in Berlin is. And there will be there's more chance, because Emmy and also Bill, you guys are still staying in this call. And there will be much more time afterwards to ask you guys questions, okay? I would maybe then ask Corinna.
Hi.
Are you here?
Yeah.
So what I can do, I can also share my screen and do this for you. How's this?
Great.
Yeah.
So nice to be here with you all. I'm Corinna and I lead the Falling Walls Lab, and I'm here to tell you what Emmy's talking about when she says she was on stage and took part in the Falling Walls Lab. So 3 minutes is all it takes. All it takes to stand on stage in front of a global audience, a distinguished jury, and present the most innovative solutions to some of the most pressing challenges of our time. That's what Falling Lab is about. It's a world-class pitch competition where you have the opportunity to present your breakthrough idea to a global audience. It's a stage for interdisciplinary group of emerging talents. In just 3 minutes each, past presentations have ranged from topics such as Emmys to coral reef protection from space, mosquito-borne diseases, artificial intelligence, clean energy. And the Falling Walls Lab is a project by the Falling Walls Foundation. And this, I'll have a little explanation about it on the next slide, but I think you can just keep it. Yeah, great. So the Falling Walls Foundation is a nonprofit organization based in Berlin. And we actually started on the 20th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. It was inspired by the barriers that were broken when the Berlin Wall fell in 1989. Falling Walls aims to find ways to bring science and society together, to build bridges for collaboration between researchers, design makers, thinkers, and artists, and emerging talents. We have loads of projects, and I won't go through them all now. But right now I just want to focus on the lab. So on the next slide, you'll see we had 71 labs in 59 countries last year. Luckily, we have Lab Beijing on board again this year. Out of the 1,600 people that applied, through the 71 labs, 3 were crowned Breakthrough of the Year in November, including Emmy. This year, we already have 70 labs on the map, and our goal is to get 100. These labs make it possible to showcase the quality, diversity, and passion of their region's most innovative minds. And it's great for us because we end up with such an amazing group of winners on the stage in Berlin in November. I wanted to share this quote from you, from one of the jury members, which is on the next slide, from Carl Henrik, who is, the formatting came off a bit, but he's part of the Nobel Foundation. And he says, I think an event of this kind is a stepping stone for the young scientists. When they come here, they get some recognition from what they are doing and also able to form networks. One of the top perks of taking part in the lab is that the winners get to present their work in front of a distinguished jury with people from the Nobel Foundation, Google, and top scientific journals. And these jury think about each pitch and look at a few things. And I'll add this on top of what Bill's already told you, but some of I think this is relevant for most pitches. The breakthrough factor. Is your project original? Is it innovative? Could it trigger other innovations and inspire people? What about its relevance and impact? Who is the target group? Is it clear? Is it a broad group? Is it small? Is it a short-term impact, long-term impacts? And lastly, the structure and performance. It's very important that the presentation is well structured, that you're speaking clearly, that you're engaging your audience, and that of course it's explained well, and that everyone in the public can understand, even someone who doesn't know anything about solar cells. And getting all that in 3 minutes is really hard. And hopefully you've learned some great tips from Bill and Emmy on how you can do that. And one insight that we got from a jury member was it's also important to not to spend too long on the problem when you have such a short time, especially if it's a common problem and something that's one of the sustainability goals. Like even Emmy mentioned it in her pitch where she said, reference the sustainability goal number 7. Most people on our juries will know all the goals, and a common problem like climate change, you don't need to spend too long in your pitch going into that. Instead, use the time effectively to convince the public and the jury of your solution to that problem instead. And lastly, I just wanted to come to this picture, which is one of my favorite from Lab Beijing last year. And Falling Walls is a great opportunity for networking and getting up to speed with the rest of the world. You can't solve international problems by working alone. Pitching and being involved in these kind of competitions is about the community, connecting with other scientists, connecting with artists, and really building a community and a network so you can create the change that you want to see in the world. I hope this has inspired you, and I hope that Emmy's pitch also inspired you, and that Bill's teachings also inspired you. Applications for Lab Beijing are now open, and we hope to see you all in at that lab, and then finally the one winner at the Lab Berlin in November. And if you have any questions, I'll also stay around in case.
Thank you so much. I just had to jump out of the sharing my screen because when you share your screen, you cannot see anything else. Thank you so much, Corinna. Maybe just because obviously international mobility is very restricted, is it actually possible to join that lab also online, or is it only?
Oh yes, absolutely. So yeah, in the past, before 2019, we always had everyone coming to Berlin in November. But since the pandemic started and there's a lot more restrictions on travel, we've now made it possible to also present online through a pre-recorded video. And I believe that at Lab Beijing, you can present live via Zoom. And it's great because Emmy already presented her pitch on Zoom here, and it's kind of showing how that can still be very engaging and interesting.
All right. And what if they're actually gonna win and go to Berlin? Like, what kind of jurors are people expecting? Like, who is actually judging them?
So we always have representatives from our main partners. So people like Google, the DAAD, the DAAD. Then we have our chair is someone from the University of Oxford, formerly from the ETH in Zurich, one of the most famous science institutions in Europe. And also the co-chair is from the Nobel Foundation. And we try to make it a really interdisciplinary jury to ensure that all subject matters are understood, and there's always an expert in the field on everything that can be talked about. So it's a great stage to also present to some of the leading world thinkers in the world.
Mm-hmm. So what type of background does somebody need to have to join actually the Falling Walls Lab? Is it only natural sciences?
No, you can come.
I got quite a lot when I hosted this lab.
Yeah, no, we've had historians, we've had social sciences. We've had engineers, we've had the people who are coming from all kinds of disciplines, mathematicians. You just need an innovative idea that is solving a problem. And you can go onto our website to look at all the previous pitches and all the pitches from last year too, to get some inspiration, and also see how much of a range there was in the topics.
All right, thank you. Then I would say we are actually quite well in the time. I want to thank actually all of you guys. I want to thank Bill, I want to thank Emmy, I want to thank you also, Corinna, that you guys came together to actually do this workshop. It was, for me, I've learned a lot. I hope it was also the same for the participants. We will be sharing, of course, all the PPTs with all the important information, also like where you can sign up. And maybe if you guys want to get in direct contact, I have not actually asked Emmy, Corinna, or Bill if that's possible, but once we get the okay, then I would also be happy to share actually the contacts. I think I'm very excited actually as a DAD to be hosting actually Falling Walls Lab this year again in September, and I hope to see a lot of you guys participating and joining, and also for any questions. It's also, oh, we actually have a question that come in. Rosalind asked, there's a few different Falling Walls Lab when I searched online, for example. Marie Curie community also posted a Falling Walls advertisement. Is there any difference, or will be connected to Berlin? Maybe I just hand over to you.
Yeah, so all of the international, so basically throughout the year from April to September, international labs take place all around the world, ranging from Beijing to Cape Town to Peru to North America, really on all corners. And the winners of each of these labs come to Berlin for the finale. So you can apply to any of the labs you see online, but I recommend going to one near your region because not all of them offer online participation. And even all those who offer online participation, some only offer it for national residents. So I would recommend looking for any in your country. And if there isn't one in your country, please email me because maybe we just haven't put it online yet because some are still in the planning phases.
All right, any more questions? I give it maybe another minute to see what's going on. But maybe I take this because we also have the next session, which will be on Wednesday. Haldo, you have, you may speak.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, Corinna, and thank you, Emmy, thank you, Bill. Corinna, about the Falling Walls, I think this is a really nice opportunity for this community of researchers here. So one thing that I do know about our colleagues in the Euraccess network here in China is that they're immensely practical people. And we noticed it in the sense that last week, I think we were talking about how to get published in academic journals, and we got like twice as many people coming to that. But I believe that things like the falling walls is actually a great opportunity and probably a lot easier, let's not say easier, but a lot more potential to have a great impact on your career, especially if you're really early career. So I was wondering if you have any good examples of what sort of impact it has had on participants of the falling walls. Let's say, like, has it managed to allow them to do something new? Has it allowed them to get into some sort of new opportunities or anything like that? Do you have anything to share on that point?
So Emmy, I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but I'm wondering if you can share I know you only were a part of Falling Walls last year, so it's not that much time since you were, but did it impact your career or life in any way?
Yes, definitely. Falling Walls, just the network that I created with everybody else from the rest of the world that I engaged with. From that network itself, even yesterday on our Falling Walls group 2021, because everybody knows what the other person was presenting, someone actually sent me a link of a team that is looking for someone to work on their new solar cells that work during the night, apparently. So you have stuff like that where people out there who have really deep networks for themselves, because I have my own networks. Someone from Kenya has their own deep network, someone from China. So now just from that person, it just becomes an exponential reach of your work. That's number one. Number two, I do have someone from our local bank, Stanbic Bank in Zimbabwe, who wants to do a pilot for my dye-sensitized solar cells in Zimbabwe, particularly because it is something that mostly affects sub-Saharan Africa and the global south. So I do have investors sniffing around, but the thing is I'm still trying to finish my PhD in June. So I've put that on the back burner, but I do have people who are like, listen, let's put you in a lab. Can you make this prototype? Let's see how it's going to work out for you. And then I've been applying for fellowships abroad. I think the Africa Comps that's in Germany and a couple of other fellowships. And I can tell you that having that Falling Walls lab, having that stamp of approval from an international jury definitely helps you in whatever other application you're going to make in the future. And then I myself will be hosting a Falling Walls lab in Zimbabwe for the very first time. And then I also have increased my speaking engagements. I mean, including this one, Lab Beijing didn't have to call me, but they did because I was at Falling Walls lab. So those are just some of the few things that you can definitely are gonna happen to you, just that career boost.
Thank you so much, Emmy. Actually, I'm going to put you on the spot as well, because some of the participants here, they're asking for your direct email address. But of course, you have to allow us to share. We're putting you on the spot. Oh, we cannot hear you. You're muted. You are still muted.
Oh.
Here you go. Now we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you, Melanie. Great moderator and host. You can definitely share my email address. You can also find me on LinkedIn, which is just Emmy Chiindigo as well. Oh, someone just followed me on LinkedIn. Because I think I love that more. Sometimes emails get lost, guys, in the commotion of it all. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them. I'll share that with you.
All right. Thank you so much. We are, I think, Haldo, we are doing very well when it comes to timing, don't we? This is not an organized
always
dream.
punctual, very timely.
As we are in Germany. So I think I want to first and foremost thank all the speakers here to tune in from all over the world, which is really great. And I hope all of them has inspired you to join and get curious about the Falling Walls Lab and just sign up and give it a try. We would be welcoming you here in Beijing in September, and I'm curious to see what you guys can come up with. And of course, at the end, I also want to thank Euraccess China that we can just jump on, get on board, and be part of this science communication series. If there's any question, of course, you can also contact us at the DAD or Haldor from Eurexis China. All right,
All right.
then I would say goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Melanie. Maybe I say at the end,
Stay
because you
safe and
said-
healthy.
you said earlier, you mentioned earlier about our next week's training. Let me take the opportunity to mention that we will have with us next week a scientist from Hong Kong, right, Melanie? Ulf Henning Richter, who is going to talk about the transferable skills that straddle academia and industry. So this is like a really common topic that a lot of people are want to learn more about, how to sort of bridge academia and industry, how to be innovative academic, how to take on entrepreneurship when you're in academia and so on. So this is going to be a super interesting presentation on that, how to develop those sort of skills. And then on top of that, we will have with us also the other side of the aisle. So Ulf is this academic that has kind of broken into industry. And we will also have a speaker to be confirmed from Audi China, who will discuss about how the industry sort of receives like innovators and academics from outside and so on, which I think will kind of like give us a very complete picture. I think this is going to be a super cool opportunity because even I am learning something right now. It's like, oh, this is really interesting. I've never even wondered like how, I mean, like we know what we know, right? But I've know nothing about industry, I have to admit. So this was super cool. And I think this is going to be really helpful. I know a lot of you guys will benefit a lot from joining this. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. And I just want to thank everybody for coming today. I want to thank Melanie Speta and the DAD for co-organizing this one. And I want to thank all the speakers, Emmy, Bill, and Corinna for coming. So thank you very much. Thanks, Melanie.
Thank you so much. We will work on my family name next time.
I'm sorry. I'm like trying out different versions of it.
It's normal. And I think I messed up Emmy's last name too. This happens, I think, all the time. All right. Thank you guys for participating.
Perfect. You actually got it very perfect. But thank you. Bye, guys.
Healthy, stay safe.
Bye.
See you soon.
Okay, I'm just going to end the meeting for everybody.
Yep. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks.